7.4, consideration of the following advisory board appointments: Big Valley Advisory, Cobb, Big Valley Advisory Council, Cobb Municipal Advisory Council, First 5, Lake County Fish and Wildlife Advisory Committee, Lake County Resource Conservation District, Law Library Advisory Board, and wait, why is that? Yeah, it's kind of mixed, but that's, yeah, Law Library Advisory Board. So there we go.
And Library Advisory Board.
And Library Advisory Board. It's all kind of meshed in. So, all right. With that, I know that we have an amount. Let me get this page so we can look at. We'll start with first. And Supervisor Owen, you had indicated last
Yes.
time you wanted to look through them. Are you still?
Yes, no, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. And so I know we'll start with the top, Big Valley Advisory Council. There's 3 vacancies, and we have Rick White, incumbent alternate.
Yep. I move that we approve Rick White to the Big Valley Advisory Committee, but not as an alternate. We don't have enough members.
Okay, so
We need an alternate yet.
Okay. And you were saying public comment?
Oh, yeah, if it's just a nomination, then public comment can follow.
Yeah.
Okay. After each one?
After each group or council.
Okay, so with that, first we'll open it up for this public comment in this item for Big Valley Advisory Council. Not seeing or hearing any. I'll take, you didn't have one? Okay. I'll take the motion from Supervisor Pyska.
And I'll second that.
And a second from Vice Chair Rasmussen. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, Cobb Municipal Advisory Council. We have 3 vacancies, 2 member-at-large and 1 alternate. We have Paul Duncan for an alternate, Christopher Nettles, member-at-large, and Donald Strickler, incumbent member-at-large, and Christopher Nettles is also an incumbent. And so I'll open it up for public input. All right, not hearing or seeing any, I'll bring it back to the board.
To the Cobb Area Council, I nominate Paul Duncan as the alternate, Christopher Nettles, Donald Strickler as members.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the first 5 Lake County, 2 vacancies, 2 member-at-large. We have 1 applicant, Carolyn Rosen, new applicant, and she's applying for the member-at-large position. And I will open it up to the public. If there's any comments or questions about this. Hearing or seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board, and if there's any comments about this from the board, or if there's just action.
No, I think there's just action.
All right.
I'll make a motion that I'll nominate Carolyn Rawson as a member at large for the first 5 Commission, Lake County.
Second.
Nope. I have a motion from
2 seconds.
Vice Chair Rasmussen and a second from Supervisor Sabatier. He beat you by like a millisecond. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the Fish and Wildlife Advisory Committee, 5 vacancies, 1 representative from District 1 and 3, and 1 education, and 1 recreation industry. And so we have Angela DePalma Dow for the education portion, Justin Ratcliffe, incumbent District 3, and Julia Carrera, District 3. I will open it up to the public for any comments. Not hearing or seeing any, I'll bring it back to the board, and I know I have 2 applicants for District 3, and I support the incumbent, Justin Ratcliffe.
Okay, I'll make the motion for you then. Mr. Chair.
I have a question regarding the applicants.
Mhm.
Angela DePalma Dow is a member of the Lake County team, placing a employee of Lake County on the Fish and Wildlife Advisory Board. It's not something we do often. Her expertise is not what's in question here. It's more of, are we looking for public members or are we looking for staff members? Because that's a very different scenario. And I guess I will say hesitantly, should we check in with our department head, whether or not we're going to appoint somebody who might take time away from their work to be able to fulfill their need? Like, there's certain things that I'm kind of unaware of us doing in the past, and a little nervous about setting that precedent.
She's been serving
And we have Carolyn.
in this role, yeah.
Yes, Carolyn Purdy, Administration Office. Angela did serve under the Fish and Wildlife Conservation seat last year. And since it's been filled already, she is applying under the Education seat for this year.
Well, my hesitation still stands.
Okay.
I think that we know how when we typically have committee meetings, we invite staff when we want the expertise to be there. And so I guess until further notice, it would be nice to get someone else that could be able to be a public member for the education purposes or from another agency, because I think staff is always available, depending on the topic at hand, to be invited to be a part of the discussion.
All right, noted.
Well, I actually had the same question. I have no opposition to having a staff member on there, but I did have that came to mind as to how that works, the staff member on there. I was just wondering the same thing. Do we have other staff members on other committees? Serving as a appointed member rather than just being a county employee, basically supporting that committee, so.
Lloyd?
So the committee's policy of the County of Lake under Rule 4 does address to some extent this issue, where it states that in order to further community involvement in county government and to further the independence of advisory boards, it shall be the policy of the Board of Supervisors not to appoint county employees as voting members to those advisory boards, which are intended to consist of independent citizens and or community members. So there's two prongs to that. The first one is whether or not this particular committee consists of voting members of an advisory board. Second prong is whether or not this committee is intended to consist of independent citizens or community members. So staff can certainly look into that for further review. It's up to your board if you want to make the appointment today, subject to any potential changes later on, but that's up to your board's discretion.
Who had the education seat last year? Was it Greg?
Greg
It
Giusti.
was Greg, and does he not
Yes.
want to do it again?
He didn't apply. And I will also note that these meetings are all after hours. They're in the evening, so I don't know if she's,
I'll ask Greg again.
okay, thank you.
So we want to hold back on that?
Well,
Yeah. we
it'd be
can-
my position to hold back as well, based on the information we got from county council. I see the analysis of the bylaws and whatnot before we do that.
Okay.
Supervisor Spatier?
And I know I'm repeating myself, but please do not take this as anything negative. I think the work that you do, Ms. DePalma-Dow, is amazing. It's more of the correct fit for the right purpose for the type of committees that we try to create. So I hope that, I just wanted to reiterate that because I don't want it to be seen as a negative.
And that's where I'm at too. It's just the policy and the practice of staff that I was looking at, but she's certainly qualified, more than qualified.
All right, so we'll hold back on.
Oh, hold that one, and I'll move to appoint Justin Radcliffe, Fish and Wildlife Committee, District 3.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have Lake County Resource Conservation District. 2 vacancies, 1 representative from Supervisorial District 1 and 1 member at large. New applicant Charles Barron, District 1, Steve Campbell, District 1, Mary Daly, District 1, Kate Schmidt-Hopper, who is the incumbent in District 1. The other 3 are new applicants.
Okay, I would move that we appoint Charles Barron to the Resource Conservation District 1, redacted, and do I do 2? Can I do 2? Because I think they were both District 1
Yes.
that were on the agenda last time, so that's why we held off
Well,
on them.
there's
They're
one
supposed to be-
and a member at large, I think, so.
And I'd like to appoint Steve Campbell, Resource Conservation.
And so we'll open it up to the public briefly, but we'll note that what you had recommended. Is there anybody from the public? All right, bring it back to the board, and I do have the motion from Supervisor Owen. Is there
I'll
a second?
second.
And I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion carries. Next is the Law Library Board, one annual vacancy, Dennis Fordham, who is an incumbent. I'll open it up for the public. And I'll bring it back to the board for action.
I'll move to appoint Dennis Fordham to Law Library.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And Library Advisory Board, 5 vacancies, 1 representative from supervisorial districts 1, 2, and 3. We have Kate Schmidt-Hopper, new applicant, District 1, and Paula Warner, new applicant, District 1.
I'd like to move to appoint Paula Warner to the Library Advisory Board for District 1.
And then I'll open it up to the public briefly. And then I'll bring it back to the board.
I'll second.
And then I see that there's 5 vacancies. Oh, wait, no, that's for District 1. Sorry. We have, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion carries. Excellent. So we are through that. That concludes the advisory board's appointment.